This is a tutorial on how to use Readworks and assign content digitally without using Google Classroom. So you will start at readworks.org. If you don't have an account, you'll click on Sign Up. You'll fill in this section and then click on Get Started. If you already have an account, click on Log In and then type in your email address. And your password, and then click on Log In. The first thing you need to do is go up to the top and click on Class Admin. This is where you set up your classes. I'm not going to import from Google Classroom. Instead, I want to create a new class, and there are two ways to do it, so we'll go through it twice. So I want to click on Second Grade, and here I'm going to import Miss McBride's class, or not import, but invite Miss McBride's class, and I want to do this through Google Sign-On. So I would click on Invite with Google. This is a good idea to do it this way if you're not using Google Classroom, because all the students have to do is click Log In with Google and then put in their class code. So we're going to go ahead and look over here where we need to sign in as a student, and we'll go ahead and put in the address www.readworks.org/student. And here the student can log in with Google. Now they're going to be prompted to enter a class code. Which is XG3K2Y, and I got that code from my class when I set it up. And we'll go back to that in just a second. So now as a student, after I put in my code, I'll click on Continue. And this shows me that I am in Miss McBride's class. So I can click on that. And if I had any assignments, they would be here. So now we're going to go back to the teacher view. I want to log out as a student. And I want to go ahead and go back to my teacher account. And now that I have that one class set up, I want to go ahead and set up another class. So this is Miss McBride's class. One student is in there. So now I want to show you how to create a class without inviting through Google. And so again, I would click on Create a Class, create a new class, name my class, and then click on Next. And now I want to do it through a roster. So I would click on Invite with Roster, and I would just type in my student names. And then click Add. Now the password for all of the students is 1234, and you can change the password later if you want to, and then you click OK. And so here the students would sign in as a student. This is their class code, and then they would have a password to put in, which is 1234. And then if you go back to your class admin, you see your codes listed right here. You see your classes listed right here. So for the Howard class, I want to go ahead and I'm going to log out of here, and I want to log in as a student using that code and the password. So that code was LCJM4L. And here the student searches for their name. And then the password was 1234. And then continue. And now, if I were that student, I would see that I'm in the Howard class. I don't have any assignments assigned to me yet, but this is my account. I signed in as Allie. So now I want to go ahead and log back out of the student view, and I'm going to go back to the teacher view so we can see how to assign the assignments to the students now that we have our classes set up and we have students in there. To create an assignment, the first thing that I need to do is find the content that I'm looking for. So I would just click on Find Content, and I want to search for the Tons of Trash passage that was included in the PBS curriculum. It's the first one that pops up, and I see that it's a 4th grade reading level. It's a 1090 Lexile level. It's got 620 words, and it's a nonfiction passage with 1 question set and 3 vocabulary words. When I open that passage, I can see exactly what the students are going to see. And if the students click on this play button, the passage is read to them, and they have vocabulary, and then they see the question sets. The students will not have this option to see the answers over here on the right. That's just for you, the teacher, to be able to see. So this is the passage that I want to assign to my classes. I'll click on Assign. I want the audio to be enabled, so I need to check that. I want the vocabulary to be included. I want the questions to be included. I'm going to select the pollution activity. I want this to go to my Howard class. And now I can select whole class or specific students. So I can choose which students I want this to go to. For this time, I'm going to click on whole class. I need to set my start date, my due date for Friday, and then click on Assign. And then I want to go ahead and assign it again to my other class, which was Miss McBride's class. So to do that, I would just click Assign again, change which class I'm assigning it to, and then click on Assign. So now when I click on Assignments in Progress, I see what I have assigned. I have a ton of trash assigned to Howard. I have a ton of trash assigned to Miss McBride's class. And if I wanted to see what my students had been doing so far, I can click on Class Results, and I can see what the students have done here. I can see the passage, the vocabulary, and the question sets. If I want to change anything in my classes, I go to Class Admin. If I wanted to archive this class, I would just click on Archive. I can add more students to it by clicking on the class name. And then up here on Options, I can rename the class. I can change the assignment settings. I can add a co-teacher. So if you have a partner teacher, you can add someone to partner with you on that class. Oh, I wanted to go back into Howard and create my groups, my reading groups. So to do that, I've selected my class, and then I click on Groups, and then I click on Create Group, and I can give my groups their names, choose the student that is in that group, create another group, so now in my blue group I have 2 students, in my red group I have 1 student. Now I can go back to my assignments and I can assign this assignment to just a group. So I want to go back to my content. And click on assign. And now I can just choose, now that I have groups set up, I can choose to just assign this passage to groups. So I want it to go in my Howard class to my blue group. Change my due date. Enable my settings. And then it will be assigned to the blue group. In assigning it to groups, you can assign different passages at different reading levels to different students. So it's easy to differentiate your instruction once you have those groups set up. So now you know how to utilize Readworks to assign digital content without the use of Google Classroom.